everybody, and welcome back to Divinely Feminine. So, I wanted to talk to you guys about this topic. I'm still laying in bed because my babies are out of school today, and this is their off day. So, I'm gonna lay a little bit before I have to get up and get my day started because today is not an off day for me. Okay, so you guys have to forgive yourselves, first of all, from learning to love the way that you love. And that is truly through fear. We learned that we have to be a good person to someone and stay on their good side in order to experience someone's presence in our life. And people knew this. They knew this and they utilized it to their advantage. This is the reason why we have so much, you know, tug of war in these relationships because the person that knows that their presence means more than someone's peace is the person that is in the better advantage here. And they can utilize you in the way that they need to because they know what triggers you. They know that their presence means more than them actually treating you well or giving you what it is that you do deserve. And you take that, you accept it. So therefore, your you're teaching or showing people. It's not even a teaching situation because it's not a fair advantage here. But what you're doing is you're telling this person that they can show up regardless, however they want to, and treat you however they want to. And you're going to sit there and deal with it. But you're doing all of this subconsciously. You don't know that this is what's actually happening because you feel like this is what love means. This is how you communicate love. Like, this has to be, how love is because this is how my parents showed me love. I had to be good. I had to do good in order to have the unconditional presence of my parents or the unconditional attention of my parents. And while we're not going to keep blaming our parents, this is where it starts. And if you don't have anybody around, if you don't know any different, if you leaped out the front porch and into the world without any knowledge of anything different, then that is the way that you navigated through life. Those are the situations that you attracted because that became you, because it spilled over into different areas in your life, not just with people, but with your jobs, with the foods you eat, with how you communicate to yourself, how you love yourself, how you feel about yourself. Even your shallow breaths are not unconditional, they are conditional. You only breathe when you feel like things are going good. And then even then you fully don't breathe. You don't because you fully don't trust the situation. The way that you sleep at night, it only relief only comes or peace only comes after you have your usage of whatever it is that you use to rest. And then you're on pins and needles when you sleep. Every little sound that you hear, you start drifting off into a dream and you are easily to wake up, you know. So it spills over in every aspect of your life. Like I said, we're not in the season of blaming anyone. We're in the season of finding out what started it, what was the root cause of it, and recognizing the pattern of those things because we don't know where it starts. We quickly forget because we are told that, that's our families, and they didn't know any better. So it just keeps happening over and over and over again. So then we're left with the responsibility of trying to figure it out. Like, how did it even start? And a lot of us, we truly, you know, don't want to dishonor our parents, so we don't talk about it. And it shouldn't be a dishonor to talk about things that have caused you to be the human being that you are. If we don't learn situational awareness, then there's a lot of things that we're going to miss out on. There's a lot of things that we're never going to, you know, have the awareness of. We don't know that we can confront these things because we don't know that it's wrong at all, or that, you know, is something that shouldn't have happened, or that, you know, is something that we can even address. We don't know. So here lies the pattern, you know, of this thing that keeps going and going and going. And you become a soldier of love. You become a person that deals with love no matter what it throws at you. But you are the one that's carrying the load, the burden of how love feels to you. You become less and less of a human being and more of a servant. You become less and less of yourself and more of a person that is in fear all the time. Your nervous system is so jacked up because you feel like you're going to always be in trouble. You fear the lack of presence when you're not even present for yourself. So now you're in a situation to how are you supposed to change these things? How is it supposed to be different? What are you supposed to do? You're in that space. And I'm going to tell you something. You're going to have to lean into love no matter what the situation is. You're going to have to face those situations. And when I say lean into love, I don't mean still do what you are doing, avoiding confrontation when you feel uncomfortable, when someone makes you feel some type of way. Instead of addressing the situation, you act as if everything is okay when you are breaking or broken, or you're hurt, you're extremely hurt. But you've learned to have a poker face. You've learned to be a soldier and say, hey, well, at least they're still around. But they're not around. You shouldn't want somebody to just be around. And it's okay to want someone to be present with you. There's a difference between someone just being around and someone's presence, someone's awareness of you, someone's awareness of your feelings, someone's awareness that you are a human being, someone's awareness that you have feelings, you have thoughts, that you deserve a level of treatment that people are not giving you. I mean, I don't get it how we even got this far, but then I do, because we got so many pressures outside of us, and a lot of people are not even present with themselves. But it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. because people are really messed up down behind these situations here. But you're going to have to address those situations of confrontation, what feels like confrontation to you. A lot of the times when you address a situation with someone immediately, when your adrenaline is rushing, what you end up doing is teaching your nervous system how to be calm, teaching your nervous system that you're going to stand up for yourself, teaching your nervous system that your presence means more than someone's absence. And you gain a layer of protection, but also you gain your first boundary, and it feels really, really good. You know, you gain that feeling of knowing that you are capable of standing up for yourself, but also that you have you to support you, and that what was it to fear in the first place? Why was it so scary? What was the fear of someone's absence? What caused you to fear someone's absence? What caused you to glorify someone's absence over your presence? Because you're present. You're consistently present with yourself because you know, hey, that's not right. This doesn't feel right. And then you even have the intelligence to fear or to feel how it may feel for your presence to be absent from this person's life. So you're feeling on both sides. That is intelligence. But what you don't do is allow your intelligence to be utilized as a weapon against you. Emotional intelligence is a great thing, but it can be weaponized. We call it being an empath. But truth be told is that it is our intelligence. It is the awareness of both sides. Both sides of the coin you can see, you can feel, and you're trying to figure out how to address it without letting yourself down, without choosing the lesser of either of you, to come to an even compromise. And you do this at an early age because you're most connected with your intelligence then than you are now as a grown adult. We become extremely dull and lifeless and brainless because we are being emptied of ourselves and our intelligence at an early age. Yes, it gets beaten out of us. We get told no, we get told that we're not doing things correctly, and when we don't do things correctly, what ends up happening is that, you know, things get taken away from us. Our right to just express ourselves gets reprimanded, and that is when our intelligence starts to fade slowly. That's when we become more of a shell. You see these kids that only look into their phones all freaking day, and that's because that's what happened to them. They'd rather shut down. You know how they say the teenage stare, the teenagers just zone out. That's what's happening. That is what's happening to them because they have not been able to think for themselves or express themselves because we call it disrespect. And yes, while there's a level of knowing that you have to speak to your parents a certain way or speak to people a certain way, you teach them that, hey, we're going to respect one another in this space of us expressing our thoughts, expressing our feelings, expressing how we feel. Okay? We're not going to disrespect one another. That's how that goes. But power is utilized. We feel like over our children that no matter what is happening, we make them feel like they have to love us. They don't have another choice. And while that is supposed to be true, it still has to be it still has to be cultivated the right way. It still has to be a level of thinking for everybody. And you may be burnt out from all of what you have to do, but you have to remain present. Every day is an adjustment for me and my children. Every single day is an adjustment. And I'm always striving to be as authentic as I can with my children and also myself. There isn't a book, but I have situational awareness and I don't allow for my intelligence to be manipulated in any way. Not even with my children, because I know that children can utilize your, you know, your intelligence, your emotions. They can. So what I do is I calm myself. And sometimes I go off. Sometimes I just go right on off. But I come back and I let them know. Sometimes you are not listening. And sometimes, I feel like I need to raise my voice. But that is not a measure of my love. That is not a measure of how I feel about you. But you have to be aware of yourself and how you present yourself, how you come off. And it is my job to deal with the situation correctly. If it seems like your ears are turned off, my voice is going to turn up. But it is not yelling at you because you're doing something wrong. It is a warning. It is a caution sign because I feel like you're not aware and you need to be aware. Aware of yourself and what it is that I'm trying to convey to you. But we don't have that going on because we say, oh, nobody has to explain anything to no children. What are we doing all this explaining for? They should just do, do, do. And then doing, they're going to grow up as adults that don't know how to communicate. And then we have these problematic adults or children, adult children walking around feeling like they know what they're doing, they know what they're talking about. A bunch of just, egoic people walking around causing problems. But yeah, this is the vicious cycle of it. So as I said before, you guys, you're gonna have to lean more into love. You're gonna have to lean in and say, hey, no, that's not happening. This is not happening. And at first, you're gonna feel really scared and petrified, like I said. But you're when it all settles, you're gonna be like, hey, like this feels better than dealing with that deep heaviness and that dropping sensation in my belly and my nerves. My nervous system being tore all up and going back and forth, being in the presence of what is causing me to be in survival energy versus, you know, just saying what it is that's on your mind. A lot of times people do stay. A lot of times, you know, you shock the hell out of people. But understand that if you have to do that in order for somebody to treat you well, then choose yourself. Say no. Leave people alone. You let them have the absence of you. But anyway, guys, that's been my tidbit for today. Talk for 20 minutes. Bye, y'all.